Welcome to the Junction, where we're trying to make some connections between Ardmorites. This week, we are speaking with we're speaking with the incumbent on the Southern Tech Board of Education, Mr. David Leu, who was appointed back in 2019 and is finishing up his first 5-year term on that Southern Tech Board of Education. So, David Leu, thanks for joining us in the Junction this week.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Just to kind of get this started, if you wouldn't mind kind of briefly introducing yourself, and also give us a little bit of an idea of why you think you're qualified to continue a second term on the Southern Tech Board.
Okay, so we moved to Ardmore about 9 years ago, and as an associate pastor at First Baptist Church here in town, and my wife also teaches in the Ardmore City School system with special ed. We have 4 boys, and moved here with a job, and so we're glad to be in Ardmore. I have served, like you said, for almost 6 years now on the school board. I continue to want to serve on the school board because I think it's an opportunity to serve the community with an incredible school that we have here in southern Oklahoma that reaches multiple counties around our area. I bring to the table a K-12 background, which we serve K-12 students, juniors and seniors in high school. We also serve many of the events for younger students, including even summer camps for 5th graders during the summer. And so I enjoy being with students, getting the opportunity to share with them that way. I also have a background of over 32 years in ministry, starting from when I was in high school. And so I think between that and then my wife and I have been foster parents. And so we have seen how career techs and schools can affect even the foster system. And so we've had a lot of background in education. My master's is in education leadership. And so I want to continue to be able to serve our local schools, even as a pastor in the area.
Okay. Well, knowing some of your background then with education in particular too, what are some of your thoughts about Southern Tech and kind of the current direction that the vocational school is going right now?
Well, right now there is an increase of enrollment and excitement for career techs for many reasons. One is that you can, as a junior and senior in high school, get a solid education and be ready to enter the career force or to go on to 4-year college or whatever it may be outside of that with little or no money out, loans. And so I am a child of the 4-year universities, and so I do understand and have nothing against 4-year universities. But right now, a lot of students can get just as high paying jobs with the career tech when they leave, and they don't have all of the loans to pay back that a lot of my generation had. And so career tech is advancing. We've started the aviation program. We're starting a new physical maintenance program. Those are 2 that are coming along. We continue to weigh each program. We have 28 full-time programs, and we have 119 short-time programs that happens on all 3 of our campuses. We have a campus in Love County, a campus in Murray County, and then the main campus in Carter County. So there's an excitement in the Senate and the House of Representatives, along with the Career Tech and the Board of Education at the Capitol. Okay. And so some really good things are happening with Career Tech. And Oklahoma is funding Career Tech quite well, so we can continue to advance. Oklahoma is one of the top Career Tech states in the United States.
So you've been on the board for a little over 5 years now. How do you plan, or how do you feel your presence on the board has made an impact, and how would you like to continue making an impact in a second term?
Like I said, I have a K-12 background. And so all 5 of our board members have different backgrounds and bring different expertise to the table. And I feel like mine is in the K-12. I watch very carefully how we are with our superintendents. How can we collaborate? How can we help? Especially our smaller schools that may not be able to have some of the upper level courses that we are able to house in math and science. We also have our GED program and our credit recovery program, which helps students that have either fell behind or dropped down and trying to come back. So I really keep a close eye on those things because those are my form of expertise. And so I want to continue to be able to do that. We have two that were former principals at and are program directors at Career Tech on the board. And then we have two gentlemen that are incredible in the fields. One of them even graduated from Southern Tech many years ago and is now over the EMTs and the dispatch at Davis, or Murray County. And so we all bring different things to the table. And so I feel like my biggest strength is the K-12.
Okay. I know I've been reporting here in Ardmore since 2019. I've covered a couple of local elections, and I've noticed that of the local races, the Southern Tech Board typically doesn't get a whole lot of voter turnout. How would you describe to people why it's so important to stay engaged with Southern Tech and specifically to at least stay engaged and knowledgeable about what's going on with the board?
Well, as a voter, I want every election to be important because I feel like it's my right and it's my duty to vote, no matter if we're voting on a school board or if we're voting on a bond issue or if we're voting on a local, whether it's I've lost the word chamber or whatever it might be, as well as our county and as well as our state and national level. And so there hasn't always been good turnouts for school board elections. Now, what may be different about this election, April 1st, is we have a lot of schools that have bond issues. We also have a lot of schools that have local school board elections. And so I'm expecting a greater turnout April 1st than maybe we normally have. I know of at least 5 of our schools in our area that have bond issues on the table. And so I just really believe it's important, no matter what is on the ballot, that we go and express our opinion as free United States citizens.
And then finally, just here in this last moment or so, what would be kind of your last plea to voters to consider David Leu coming up on April 1st?
Well, I would ask that they look at me and my opponent and make the best choice. I would love for them to vote for me, an opportunity to stay on the board. I've been, like I said, been there over 5 years. It's been a learning curve for me in the Career Tech, being from the K-12 background. I still have much to learn. Keep digging into the information of the Career Tech, and I'd like to continue on the board on doing that. I do think I bring a lot to the table, and so would like to continue on doing that.
What's a good way for anybody listening to this can find out some more information about you or your campaign for the Southern Tech Board?
I am on Facebook, David Leu for Southern Tech School Board. I have my information, my personal information on that. There's a lot of newspaper articles or things that are going to be coming out through the news. The local news is the once a week papers, as well as the Ardmorite. And so can reach out to me if they have questions or anything. We've also been doing some door-to-door, and so getting to meet some people that way. And so any way, I'd love to answer questions.
All right. Well, we're speaking with David Leu. He is the Zone 2 Board of Education member on the Southern Tech Board. For more information, you can find him online, David Leu, and that's Leu, correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, David, thanks so much for dropping by the Junction this weekend. Good luck with your campaign.
Thank you so much for having me.